Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
Yep, me again. Now, a running theme whenever we watch these films is that Ethan is nowhere to be found, that lucky bastard.
Really?
Yeah. He's never been on one of these episodes.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Those of you who've been paying attention will know that we have watched one of the old school Godzilla films from the Showa era. And for some ungodly reason, Ethan has not borne witness to any of these masterpieces.
Man, is that by choice or is that just by happenstance?
It's by happenstance. Completely. Every time I've put one of these on, it's just been me and you.
Interesting. I don't mind it though.
No,
I kind of enjoyed
great.
the little romp down Godzilla lane.
Of course.
For those of you who have
Set you on this path, I'm going to walk it with you.
Right. For those of you who have been listeners of the podcast for any length of time, really, to summarize, what I have probably summarized at the beginning of every Godzilla movie. At one point in time, I've not watched not nary a single Godzilla movie.
And now we have a cacophony of
Yes,
kaiju films under our belt.
What a great way to word that, Dylan. Master with words himself. Yes, but he has slowly but surely, as he had said previously, walked me down the road of all these wonderful.
It's the last way I expected to introduce anyone to the series.
Right. We have kind of gone in reverse order and then kind of ping-ponged all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And today is no exception. We watched Destroy All Monsters, which is a 1968 Godzilla film. And boy, oh boy.
They bust out all the fucking stops. And you want to know
Yes.
why?
Why is that?
Because they thought this was going to be the last one.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's a running theme here with Godzilla films, at least once or twice, where they're like, this is going to be the end of it, so let's go ahead and pull out all the stops.
Gotta do everything.
Gotta do everything. And I'm not complaining by saying that.
No.
Because we got a couple of really great films out of it.
The series has like 4 different finales.
Right.
Where they pull out all the stops.
But it's so good, though. This is, thinking about this now in this context, after watching this film, and you and I have been doing a romp down Gundam Zeta, which
slowly but surely,
which has been really fun in and of itself and very interesting.
As long as we're on the topic before we get to the movie,
right?
How are you feeling about it so far? Like, how does it compare to the rest of what you've seen? It's a lot more dramatic.
Yeah,
they really ham it up.
Right. Yes, there are some really, for a show that I think originally feels like it's kind of for kids and has this like deeper meaning behind it, like this how would you say that? It seems fun and playful on the surface, but there's like this,
but down beneath,
there's this good, story. There's this good, how would you say that? Life lesson.
Right. At the heart of it, most Gundam shows are
right
anti-war dramas.
Right. And then they have this sort of this element of like most really good stories, especially for kids shows and stuff. It's like, it's fun, it's lighthearted, but it deals with some serious subject matters. It deals with some serious things.
Motherfuckers die.
Right.
And are killed.
This one feels way on the heavier spectrum.
Before I found Victory, Zeta was the darkest for me.
Real. Oh, yeah. And I can see that. Oh, yeah, I forgot, like, he lost both his parents.
Oh, yeah.
And then
had to kill his dad.
Gosh, dude, yeah, it's the thing is, we're not even, how many episodes are we through that?
We're not far. I want to say in the
teens, not 20s yet, right?
No, we've got.
Are we
20s? I think. I can't remember.
Isn't it like 40 something or 50 something?
Yeah, it's 46 episodes. I want to say.
I don't.
49.
I don't think we were halfway.
No, definitely not halfway yet.
Right. So he may be just touching the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, so far it is a was this like the second installment in the Gundam series?
Yes, this was the second show
Okay.
ever for the series.
It kind of feels like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of stuff from the original show, and this feels like a sequel to the original show,
Right.
which, I mean, for all
It
intents and
is.
purposes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it is interesting to have, like, seen the repertoire of the future and then seen some of the stuff that kind of fits in the middle of all
Yeah.
that stuff. And then to kind
Building
of,
blocks.
right, and then to kind of go back into, like, because when, was it in the 90s that show came out? Or was it in the 80s?
80s.
80s. And it kind of feels like that. It has this kind of
Mhm.
dated feel, not in a bad way. I guess
yeah.
I guess I should say this nostalgic kind of feel of like
Right.
it looks like an old
I
anime.
love the old school look.
Yeah,
dude.
it is. It's interesting and it has that sort of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I like it so far.
That's good.
Some of my favorite suits are from that.
Oh, yeah.
From that show, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's a lot of fun.
Well, buckle up, bucko,
Yes, it's only gonna get.
because it only gets worse and better.
I love that. I'm excited and also scared at the same time.
You'll be fine.
But to bring this conversation kind of full circle, like I was saying,
big monsters.
this series of movies feels an awful lot like how the Gundam show works.
Mm-hmm.
There is a core universe. There are some like tent poles,
Yeah.
some cornerstones that you
Right.
found,
Stuff.
foundations that the
Right.
series is founded on.
How Godzilla was made is usually
Right, the
pretty
branch off.
commonplace as
Right.
like for every movie.
The start of the timeline, and then
Mhm.
all the other universes spawn off from there,
Right.
which is really cool. And then Gundam, in its own way, kind of has a similar thing. Whereas instead of having cornerstones like that, it's like it may be more of a design element or like
Making
a
a
look.
lot of comparisons to Gundam with other series, haven't we?
I mean, probably.
Like lately, especially, I've noticed.
What you mean?
Like I think it was on the last episode, I had made a comparison to something. I just can't remember what. But the fact that I even made that comparison at all is what's irking me right now. It's like we're really.
Well, I mean,
Bringing it up.
the thing is, I mean,
I'm not saying it's like a negative. It's just something funny I noticed.
right. Well, and it is to justify it, I guess. It is a very long running, very popular, pretty well known
Yeah.
series of really good films, shows, and OVAs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's
Been around long enough.
there is a repertoire that is vast enough that you could probably make comparisons with almost anything if you
Yeah.
try.
Even fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, right. But the reason I was saying that is just because, like I said, it's something that I felt just like watching this movie and recently is like this is a different Godzilla movie in the
Right.
same universe.
Yeah.
Feels totally different. I watched one or two little minor bits of an episode of G Gundam with you and,
Oh my
with
god.
you and Ethan.
G
and
Gundam is the fucking best.
it is in the same universe, or I mean, it is in.
It is a separate.
It is
timeline.
a separate timeline. Has nothing to do with like the main
Mhm.
Universal Century timeline, but it is a Gundam show with the
Yes.
look, with the feel.
There are mobile suits.
Right, and it looks like a Gundam show in some capacity, but it is its own thing, and it
Yes.
is unique and special.
It's fucking awesome.
And each like iteration of these Godzilla movies has that same sort of feel, where it's
Mhm.
like the Toho era, the Showa era, the Millennium series. It's like all these different eras of Godzilla movies, and even in between, some of them have these different feelings and different costume designs and iterations and
One
stuff.
he's destruction incarnate, another he's a fucking superhero.
Right, and it's but it's all part of its own little
Mhm.
universe, which I think is so cool.
Oh yeah.
That's the comparisons that I was drawing. Is it's the same thing. You have a long running series of movies that span across all kinds of different stories and timelines, and even parts in time in real history.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for instance, 1968. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That this was made that long ago. Just
Mhm.
thinking about it. and to look at the ones that are coming out now. And now we're talking about the same monster here,
Right.
but we're talking about vastly different universes here. But it's still really cool that it's
he has persisted.
Yes, and I think it's
through the eons.
I think it's really awesome. And the same thing with to kind of again draw the same parallels is there's some I love Star Wars stuff, and the fact that there's these wonderful, very beautiful Star Wars shows that are coming out. The fact that there's the newest thing that I've seen so far has been Hathaway for Gundam, dude. Which was so cool.
Ugh.
And it's and I love that there was a point in time where recreations of old things were not really that good, and they're still happening today.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me.
You'll find one or two diamonds in the rough,
right?
And that'll be it. But most of the time, it's just nothing to write home about.
Hot trash.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But anyways, to kind of move away from that, as we're talking about at the top, there has been numerous times where throughout the years that there is this is going to be this is the end of it, at least for this yes. run of what Godzilla is going to be.
Doomsday eras for the series.
Yes, and
Destroy All Monsters was that first little benchmark.
Okay, so it was the first one then.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is my favorite and the most memorable out of all of them? What number was Final Wars?
Oh man,
was that second or third one?
That was the second, I believe.
Okay.
Well, no,
or would you count Destroya being kind of one of those, or was that different?
Yeah, I think it might have been, because I don't know if they had any plans to continue the series, but Final Wars was definitely the second example I can think of, and oh my god,
have we done an episode specifically?
We have not. Ethan has to be on that one.
Yes,
he cannot miss this one.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
And I have said this on the podcast numerous times.
This shit's right up his alley. It's a crime that he hasn't been on these episodes.
It is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. A beautiful mess.
We watched Velocipaster, and it was
that was actual hot garbage.
It was
still funny.
I need not say anything else.
But in the fact that you're like, oh man, this is just bad.
This is bad.
This is pathetic.
This is bad for the sake of being bad.
And it's awful.
And it's bad. And people find that
so funny.
People find that funny, and it is funny. But this is one of those movies that's it
takes itself seriously. It hams it up.
It takes itself seriously, but for me it is the perfect use case of it is probably, I can't call it a bad movie.
Nah.
It is probably not the best movie in the world. Structurally speaking,
in no regard does it have any right to be a good movie.
Yes.
But it is anyway.
I want to give that honorary Yancey Award.
Yes.
For
definitely.
You look at it thinking it's going to be a bad movie.
Right.
Or you go into it and you probably feel that way. But man, I have never left feeling...
It's got so much heart.
Yes. I never left feeling so energized from a film before.
Mm-hmm.
But enough about Final Wars. We'll get there one day. And I will...
I was just talking about all of them.
Right, yes. You're right, all of them, yes. But I will rehash those feelings on another date.
Oh,
okay. This film, to do kind of what we've done in the past before, to give kind of a summary for this film, we have all of our monsters. They're secluded to an island called the Motherland. Monsterland.
I don't know why they didn't just call it Monster Island. But
I don't know.
Monsterland has some kind of ring to it.
Makes it sound like an attraction.
Right.
Come on down to Monsterland.
These motherfuckers are doing flybys of the island, just checking all the monsters out, as if Godzilla couldn't just spray them with atomic breath at any second.
They keep a nice distance.
Right. They go into the facility for them, and they're like, don't the monsters just look cute from up there? It's yeah, they do. It's what the fuck do you mean?
What are you talking about?
These aren't zoo animals.
This is also the iteration of Godzilla that feels like the most animated to me.
Yeah.
And I think I've said that. I think I've said that on the last one from this.
Mm-hmm.
which era is this again? Showa, okay. From the Showa era. He just has this sort of like
personality.
Personality is a great word for it. I've always laughed. He didn't do it quite as much in this film, but there's a lot of times where he does these like the cocking of the fists,
right.
You know, where he's about to get going.
Might as well. Those motherfuckers are shotguns, dude.
Yes.
Throwing hammers.
Yeah, throwing hands is a real statement. But anyway, and so it's with that kind of it feels like a man in a suit. Really, it's like because of the way he's moving and the things that are happening. But if you suspend your disbelief, it feels so funny to just think of this monster having this kind of like, it's a larger than life monster with this character that's like, whoa, look at me go.
This innate, like, go get him personality.
Yes.
Anybody fucks around on my turf is getting these. 5 across the face.
Right. And so we get to see this happening. As you can imagine, it's one of these. It's one of these Godzilla films.
It's pretty hefty on the human plot, actually.
It is. I was going to say that it is a lot of exposition between the people in this one,
and they usually delegate like a good chunk of the films to the human cast because of course. But in this one, they're just like very prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are entire stretches of like a half an hour where you don't see like any monsters,
right? And
they're just talking or shooting
and
or fighting.
May I say that I think I've said this before on other Showa era Godzilla films is the storyboard is how the shots are laid out. It feels very like fast,
real snappy.
There's some really funny like wipe transitions that are interesting.
They go all out with the camera effects on
yes
at least as all out as they could go back then. I bet that blew some people's minds, dude.
Oh, 100%. For me, it's just like there are a couple of like I don't realize how smooth some more like modern films how they transition you from scene to scene,
right? Especially
and also TV shows.
Older movies feel crunchy.
Yeah, I guess is a good way of putting it as well.
As opposed to the buttery smooth of the future. This shit's chunky.
But it's like there's like there was even one. I'm not even sure if you remember it. I mean, you probably do. There's one like literally like 10-second clip of a car scene that is like it really doesn't need to be there. But it's like stuff like that. It's like we go from like to kind of again catch up to speed inside the monster land. Underground lab research facility. All of a sudden, mass hysteria happens.
Power goes out.
Yellow
all the monsters are let loose.
Yellow mustard gas looking stuff happens. And everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And then of course passes out, and you're like, "Are they dead?"
As far as we know,
right? Yeah, and of course, same thing with the monsters. All the monsters get passed out, and you're like, "Okay, I don't know what's going on here." Come to find out, they get gassed. And then they get
like brainwashed.
Yeah, brainwashed. Right. Even the monsters to like be controlled by this alien race of people.
I can only imagine they just took the human model and just upscaled it.
Right. They just made a bigger version.
Right.
Just do that, but bigger.
Yeah. It's the same principles that'll work.
Right.
These things are basically human, right?
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Even the fucking spider.
Yeah, he's fine.
Fucking Kumonga.
But with that being said, they all get brainwashed. You know, they're in.
For a while, we just don't see them.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on
until someone goes and investigates the wreckage of the base.
Yes.
And 2 of the science team members just walk out and like, "Hey guys, what's up? Didn't think you were going to show up again. Hey, why don't you come check out this crazy alien lady we
found? Yeah, where we found her. But, like, what was I saying before we were talking about that for a second? Oh, man, I forgot.
You were talking about, like, how they all got gassed and probably died.
No, but just before that, I was saying something about how... Oh, shit. I totally forgot.
Derailed his train of thought.
Darn it all.
Success.
Well, if anybody remembers out there, you're probably shouting at me right now. But basically...
Tell us now.
Yeah, right. Is, the storyboard of how things are like, or how things are laid out.
Mm-hmm.
One of our main scientist guys down underneath the mountain, he gets gassed and he gets brainwashed. He's got a thing in his head. Mm-hmm. And then, of course... all of our let's call them our
fucking moon base.
Yeah, there's exactly. Moon base. There's a moon base. Can't forget that. Sorry. Right. I'm gonna call them our moon base guys. Mm-hmm. Go to the Monsterland people, and of course find a few of them, and they try to like introduce us to like these alien people. We start shoddy blasting around.
Like, why the fuck are they making the monsters destroy all the cities? Like, no, it's fine. Just listen. You'll find out.
Right. No big deal.
She'll explain everything with a little brain bug.
Yeah, and her sequined shirt.
Her bedazzled fucking cowl.
Cowl. I love it.
God.
So we take our head scientists from the Monster Island.
Right.
They go with our moon base guys.
Mm-hmm. For questioning.
Right. And instead of like just escorting them out of the facility, and then of course like maybe a brief section of like car talk or something that then like proceeds to like go into a lobby of a facility or into the hotel room. It's like we are talking with our guys. We hard cut to a silent car ride with our Monsterland scientists in the middle and our moon base guys on the left and right in the back seat of a car. Cars moving down the road. Silence.
And that's it.
Silence. And then it hard cuts and we're in the hotel
room. Just to make double sure that they've got him.
Yeah.
And that they have him.
Right. And so then
because what happens next
may
surprise you.
Oh my God. and it's so funny and good. It's so funny. I'm just talking about
Best fucking part of this whole fucking movie.
It's it's like the delivery of how we get there.
Yeah.
Each one of the scenes is probably fine, but it's like the storyboard of it, like how we got. Like there's no, it's not smooth. It's not smooth. It's like bonk, 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 and we're there. And you're like, okay, cool. I understand.
You're in this room now.
Yeah, right. And it's interesting, and I love it. It's so different. But I'm saying this because other older Godzilla movies have had this same feel, where it's like we just go from like we're talking in the living room to like now we're like sort of in a car. Now we're like at our destination. Or even better yet, there's a few scenes in this film where our main moon base guy, who also pilots the like spaceship, what is it called? The SY3?
The SY3. I can't remember the first part.
Yeah, let's see.
It's Moon something.
Moonlight SY3. I found it. Don't worry.
God.
I got us. Our main guy there, who I would say probably is like our quote unquote like protagonist for this film, technically, if you want to claim
captain
one.
Of the ship.
Right. Yes. So. There's a few times where he's like, "We've got to go do something," and then like the next scene, he's like. Him and his team are already suited up in the cockpit of the thing, moving, and you're like, "What? It's so fast!"
Jesus Christ!
And sometimes there's not even a lead up.
They must have had practice.
It's not even a lead up. Sometimes, like they'll be like flying around in their moonlight starship thing, and then the next scene it'll be him like in the base already, and you're like, well, "I don't want to." Again,
how did he get there?
It's like there's nothing wrong with it.
Crashed the ship in the base,
and he's
where's the rest of his crew?
Where did your suit go? But it's like it's stuff like that. It just none of it feels clunky at times, but it's just so unique. To get back to that scene that we're talking about,
can I break this down?
Yes,
please?
You could please break this down for me.
Okay, so they have the brainwashed scientist on a couch, like post-interrogation. They're just trying to get anything out of him because he just won't talk.
Yes.
So they both get up.
Silent
like
treatment.
A few steps away, and they're like, "What the hell do we do with this guy?"
They're about to smoke a cigarette. They're all sitting there like, "Okay."
And and the brainwashed dude gets up calmly.
He looks kind of confused.
Right.
Like he kind of like shuffles around.
Right. But he just gingerly walks toward a window. They're in a practical skyscraper, mind you. So
right.
He walks toward the window, moves the curtains, opens up the door, and just jumps out.
and just proceeds to
Now,
walk out.
You have to imagine he's rationalized what he should do in this situation. His brainwashing has concluded that the best option right now is to just
elimination.
Yes, to die,
Yeah, right.
so that they don't find anything out.
Right.
But what got me is that you see him jump out, and then it cuts to this shot of a rag doll.
Yes.
Falling, and all you hear is ah! Just a scream all the way down.
Yes. You cut to this like this halfway shot of like them not quite all the way up in the skyscraper, but not all the way down on the ground, and you see this kind of like sweeping shot of a man like fall or a rag doll falling.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
And that's what freaked me out is that he actually just screamed.
Yeah.
Like up until this point, he was acting like a fucking robot.
Yeah.
Like
it was almost as if like he woke up halfway through. And
there's no
shit.
suppressing the imminent death impulse.
Right.
Of oh my god, I'm about to die.
Yeah. There's no subroutine to stop that.
Right.
You're done.
So after that, they go down to retrieve his body.
Right.
And then the rest of the brainwashed folks show up to retrieve the body.
Right, and we cannot forget the secret police force.
Oh god. Yeah, the UN secret police, not Interpol.
Right. No.
The secret police.
The secret police. And they all wear brown suits.
Right.
Right. And they all just have real good guns that don't
So
hit
they just
anything.
show up and immediately start
And we can't forget the organization that we're talking about that I'm assuming deals with taking care of the monsters / moon base. I feel like they're all part of one thing. It's called the UNSC.
Yes! The United Nations Space Command originated from this film.
I cannot believe it.
Halo has plagiarized Godzilla.
I can't believe it, dude. That is insane.
I could not get it out of my head that Johnson was just walking around.
The second
Monster Island.
Dude, the second line of this film is like the UNSC is doing something.
Like,
and I was
sorry, the fucking what?
I can't. There's no way, dude. I can't believe this.
It's hilarious.
The best. Yes, like I said before, like you had mentioned earlier, there's a lot of exposition between characters, a lot of gunfights that last a little too long for no one to get hit.
Right.
Nobody
gets shot at all.
There's only one scene where like a couple of the brainwashed people get hit.
Yeah. Actually, that was while they were retrieving like the main like brainwashed scientists.
Yeah.
They had to kill a couple of their previous coworkers.
Yeah.
One gets like shot in the chest, the other straight up right through the forehead.
Right.
And you see him die.
He's like, "Oh my god."
Right.
Yeah. That's the only time I think there's like real like fatalities. Oh. There's some other ones.
Oh,
but
we haven't watched Godzilla vs. Hedorah yet. That's it. That's the worst of them.
Easily. Oh no, I just mean in this film.
Yeah.
But
in that case, those are the first deaths that
yikes
occurred.
I want to know what happens in that film though.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the few from the show era that I watched like really early on.
Okay.
And I even going back to it, I couldn't describe what happens.
Interesting.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So after the little beachside scuffle,
yes,
the brainwashed folk fail to remove the chip so that there's no evidence of his brainwashing. And
right.
Are left to retreat to their little secret base. But after they conduct an autopsy,
yeah,
they find the little scud chip in this dude's neck.
Yeah, behind his ear, kind of like,
prime mind control real estate.
Right. And they just pull it out, and of course, the doctor's first words is, "Was he hard of hearing?"
Right. Okay. We can rule out hearing aid.
Yeah, right. Was that an option? Like an implant?
I guess.
In this pseudo future?
In this crazy fucking psychedelic future.
And I was going to say that as well. This film is that, what is it called? There's a word for it. There's like
retro future.
I guess is what there's like steampunk, there's cyberpunk, there's like this
diesel punk.
Right. There's but there is this
a lot of punks.
Yes. Well, there's the same sort of I guess it's called future punk or something. There's one of them. There's like a punk for each one of these like special like genres of
I
one.
know,
and it's like this
future is what they use in like Fallout and stuff.
Yeah. It may be
it's
that
not
then.
Quite in that era, but it's close.
It feels very adjacent to that. It feels in like the later years of all that. Not quite like the black and white like we're being attacked by aliens.
Oh, you know what it is?
What?
Cassette future. Alien type stuff.
Yeah. It feels a lot like that, where it's like the look of it, you're like, we're not quite in the 70s yet. We're like approaching. We're talking about like color film.
Oh yeah.
You got all this like attire and this like the layout of things, but it has like all the futuristic elements. It's like a lot of like weird buttons and dials and lights, and
still
these
got
like,
huge ass cameras.
Oh man!
Can we talk about those for a second? Those fucking cinder blocks.
Oh my gosh! We approach the end of the film, and the TV crew is
broadcasting the events.
Yes.
Of every single monster previously under the aliens' control,
and there's two
now
of them
fighting for humanity.
It looks like if I was to get a bunch of plywood and like hammer it all together and like strap some extra bits on there, and then literally
put a lens on there,
take an actual camera lens, and then put it on there, because I think that's what they actually did. It looks like a big wooden box that has TTV on it, and then an actual camera lens on it.
It's crazy to me that they thought. I'm sure more than a few people thought back then that tech was only going to get bigger.
Yes.
And I kind of wish it did.
Right. Do you remember like once upon a time when like cell phones just kept trying to get smaller?
Yeah.
And now they're just getting bigger?
Right.
And I think we've kind of hit like a critical mass here where we're like at a comfortable size. But I mean,
so like I think my phone is the perfect size.
Right. Well, but the like this is like a standard size now.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah, we're just bouncing back now.
Oh, as I'm saying, yeah, we're getting back to the big here.
We realized what a mistake we made, and now we're doing our best to rectify it.
It's better. Yeah, I just need a box on my phone with flair and like just little.
It's like the fucking tagline for Pacific Rim. The one movie poster that I need to get my hands on.
Yes.
Go big or go extinct.
Oh, no.
I fucking love it.
Oh, man. I can't believe it.
That's the best.
Oh, what a fun film that was. Okay, so what else are we going to touch on for this film? I know
the final encounter.
I know.
Fuck you mean?
I was going to say there was something specific you wanted to talk about that Let me just tee this up for you, and then I'll let you take it away.
Okay.
When it comes to, excuse me, when it comes to these films, because we're dealing with a monster and he doesn't speak and he uses a lot of motions, especially in this Showa era where he just feels like a
very
cartoon character, and how he like moves around,
sachets about,
and gyrates a little bit and does certain things. It just makes me want to add commentary over it. I don't know why, and it's always it's always my favorite. And this was no exception. There was a handful of times where like there are these prime camera cuts,
as if Ian knew what was gonna fucking happen.
Right. It's just this intuition of like, and I've had this before with this film. So going into it, I kind of knew what we're gonna be expecting.
Right.
But you just gotta say the first thing that you feel. And there's a handful of times that like that they have it in this film, and it was really funny. I thought. Okay. What was the first one that I had said? There was one where, he shows up and does something. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember.
He does that little like yum yum yum.
Oh yeah, right.
motion with his mouth.
The puppeteer kind of moves his mouth,
staring at these tanks that for some reason are like right up in front of him, and he's like, delicious.
Yeah. The puppeteer kind of like moves his mouth up and down in just a kind of a way, and I just went nom 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 because that's what it felt like.
That's what it was.
All right, that's exactly what it was. And I believe like I said, there's another one that happened.
The other one, the best one.
Yeah, well, you can go ahead and take that one away.
Okay, so with their control taken away.
Oh, I remember what it was.
Yeah?
The first. So the plot of the movie is they're saving Japan for last to attack.
Yeah, we didn't even get into that.
I totally forgot. let me go ahead and just summarize it real here.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
So they have all the different monsters attack different major cities, like Paris and like Russia and or Moscow, and then Godzilla gets New York City. And then he shows up and he just stands up and like he has his hands up and
he roars, of course, and Ian just goes, "Fuck America!"
He just starts like blasting,
followed by atomic breath, like, all over the fucking place.
Yeah, and he's just blasting stuff, and then of course there's another time wherever he comes back to Tokyo and he looks just as angry in Tokyo, but like he's like stepping around on stuff. I think he's smashing stuff.
Oh yeah, he's just pushing shit over.
But something explodes, and then he has his hands like imagine like you're bowing up, like you're gonna fight somebody, where like your fists pointed down, and he's standing there and he just has his mouth open and he just like screeches at the ground, and I just went, ow! It's like, I freaking hurt my feet. I was just making a bunch of racket, and those are the two that I was thinking of that were really funny, that were just like, you can imagine seeing this big monster just going, frick.
It's stuff you gotta see to really get the point across. It's just not the same talking about it. But the final and best one is whenever Japan like gathers all the monsters above the enemy base. Like they've pinpointed the location, and as a second to last resort, to last, not last.
Yes.
Evidently his worth went down a bit, and he's not not really suited for first anymore.
Right.
But motherfucking King Ghidorah shows
up out of nowhere. I was not expecting that at all.
Appears, explodes into existence.
Right.
As he usually does.
Materializes.
And as he's flying over, one of his heads looks down.
Yes.
And you see a shot of Godzilla, and his mouth opens for like a split second, and Ian just goes, "Fuck!" Because
it zooms in right on his face, and he's like, "Ah!" You're like,
shit! It's this fucking thing. It's like, how many times have I killed you?
Man, it's just that perfect. It's just him and the boys, and it's just this overlooking shot of all of them, and it just zooms in. He's just like, "Ah!" And you're just like, it's just a perfect reaction to that moment. Oh, it's so good.
After which the battle ensues.
Oh, it's so good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've never seen a group of monsters.
It's a knockdown, drag out.
It almost seems unfair.
It really is. I don't know what the fuck they thought was gonna happen.
That's so good.
King Ghidorah, in all fairness, is usually like a real big bad, like a force to be reckoned with. Right. But they just they destroy him.
Oh yeah.
They gang up on his shit and just.
There's a point in time where like he makes the mistake of landing, and then Godzilla jumps on his back.
Stayed in the air.
Godzilla just jumps on his back, and it's just like biting his neck and just like
choking
crazy
him out and shit. He tries to take off again, and then he just tracks him right back down.
Yeah, but before we get to that point, he actually does lift off.
Oh yeah, he lifts off a couple of times.
What is it? Anguirus?
Anguirus.
Anguirus, and this is another. I thought this was really funny personally. Anguirus grabs onto one of his the rightmost neck down at the base.
Real big chomp.
Yeah, chomps down, and it starts to
see blood.
It starts to lift off, and then of course as Anguirus, I just go, Godzilla, help! Help, Godzilla!
Somebody get me down from here!
And then of course it cuts to Godzilla, and then I was just like. What are you doing, dude? It's this perfect commentary of like, I can just imagine.
I'm amazed.
Nothing's being said, but I'm just sitting here putting words in their mouth.
The inner monologue is enough
to
turn it into like comedic gold.
Get down, Anguirus, get down.
Get the fuck down from there.
And then, of course, one of the three heads like attacks him and he falls and he's just like,
just gives him a little slap.
It's just so wacky and fun.
It's insane.
It's crazy. But yes, there is the fight sequence, I think, does not go on for nearly long enough. I wanted more. It was such a good...
We do get the Gorosaurus jump kick.
Yes!
Dude, that shit was awesome.
The physics of these Showa-era fights are my favorite.
They're amazing.
So great. What a fun time.
It's up there with the fucking tail kick.
Oh.
The fucking sliding tail drop kick.
There will be no fight.
No, it is king. You cannot beat that move.
I've never laughed and cried all at the same time as much as I have in that one moment.
It's perfect.
So much hype.
So we've already got Godzilla versus Megalon pinned for our Hyantse, right?
Which one is that? The one
with Jet Jaguar and the dropkick?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just
want to make sure.
Yeah. There's of all the oh man, gosh.
He's at a loss.
I'm at a loss for words.
He just can't.
These films have a way of
leaving you speechless.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna
or speechful.
I was gonna say that these fight sequences, at least for these Showa era films, have a way of being so intriguing and endearing,
bombastic,
and just wild. And they're so much fun, and with the right people. And I've said this on previous episodes, like this one. If you're with the right people, who can have a fun time with this crazy romp, with
even the most mediocre of film can be a good time.
Yes, and these films are wacky at best and kind of cringy at worst.
Right.
But with the right people can be a real fun time.
Oh yeah.
Which is why I think I loved Final Wars so much.
Yes.
If I would have just taken it out of context, not knowing a whole lot, I would have been like, what is this?
It's amazing.
But with the right people around and with the right mindset, I was like, this is a fever dream.
And that's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here. I came for the monsters and I stayed for the wacky space ninjas.
Yes. The inconsequential human subplot.
Oh, gosh. Oh my God. I just thinking back on that film just makes me smile with all the wackiness that was in it.
Oh yeah.
And I can't wait for that to happen. But anyways, let's go ahead and tiptoe into some of the fun stuff. I need
names. And give me the names.
Let's see. I have some like fun facts here.
Oh yeah.
That I'm trying to look at some of them. This was Mothra and Rodan's final regular appearance in a Showa era film.
Oh yeah.
They later would return in the Heisei series.
Oh damn.
But with their powers drastically altered. Also, this is the first appearance of Anguirus since his debut in Gojira no
Godzilla raids again.
Gyakushu. 13 years earlier.
Yep. Oh man.
This features the final appearance of Baron, aka Varon.
Oh yeah. Varon the Unbelievable.
Varon the Unbelievable. This is part of the fun fact, and I guess I'll transition this into the other ones. The Japanese title of this film actually translates as The Monster Invasion.
Jeez. Yeah,
and,
I mean, that's
and
fairly
with that, yeah, Oh gosh, here you go.
Give them to me.
Oh man, I just read the first one. And I was like, this is amazing. It says the literal Japanese translation is "monster total advancement." And then it says alternate translation for some sort of DVD release is "Monster Attack March." Another one, an alternate translation is "Charge of the Monsters."
Oh my god!
"Attack of the Marching Monsters," and "Marching Monster Attack."
God damn!
Those are all alternate titles.
I had to hammer home that they were marching.
Yes, exactly.
Total advancement.
Total advancement.
Oh my god, that's gonna be the title.
There was a re-release title. I'm not sure what it was re-released for, but it was a Japanese re-release, and it was Godzilla: The Grand Blitz Operation.
Oh my god, that's so fucking cool!
I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Fuck! Now I don't know which one I want to be the title.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It says there was an 8mm title that was changed, and it was "Assemble All Monsters."
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Very, very close.
Right.
The early English working title was Operation Monsterland. Understandable.
Right. That one works. It fits.
I don't know what this one's for, but apparently another 8mm title for the film was Monster Olympics.
Monster Olympics.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my god.
Here we go. Now we're gonna get into some more kind of crazy ones. French, so France/Belgium had the invaders attack.
Okay.
Dutch, the monsters are attacking. I don't know what this. Oh God!
Very matter of fact.
Yeah, West Germany got one called Frankenstein and the Monsters from Space.
Oh my God! Yes, because they always rebranded Godzilla films as Frankenstein movies.
Really?
Yes. It's insane. I have no idea why.
Frankenstein and the Monsters from Space. I love that. Another German 8mm title was Battle of All Monsters.
Okay. Adjacent. A synonym, if you would.
Apparently, Italy had one called The Heirs of King Kong. I don't know what that...
That was another one they did, was label them as King Kong.
Yeah, right.
Because there were actual, like, Showa-era King Kong movies.
Right.
Mecha Kong remains
one
of my favorites.
No.
Yes.
What? There's a Robo-Monkey?
Yes, dude.
Oh, man.
It's perfect.
Spain had extraterrestrial invasion.
I mean, yeah, that checks out.
Oh, here we go. Finland. Oh, no. The monsters are threatening the world.
Wow. Finland and Germany.
Here, dude, Turkey had two titles.
Oh, God.
One of them is End of Monsters. And another one is Starfield Monsters.
Oh, my God.
Another Starfield.
The
return of Starfield. Australia had the proper title, which is Destroy All Monsters. Wow. Or Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters.
Nice.
Brazil, The Awakening of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Mexico, The Monsters Invade Earth. Mm-hmm. Another one from Mexico is The War of the Monsters.
See, most of these are like on the head.
Yeah, they're just different iterations.
They just exclude the Godzilla.
Yeah. Netherlands had another one, which is Frankenstein's Monsters Threatening the Earth.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I think I like the first one, Frankenstein and the Monsters from Space.
Yeah.
That just makes it sound like
it's amazing.
It sounds like
it's like a fucking comic book you'd see in a movie.
It sounds like
from the 50s.
Like a wacky punk band.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Sweden, all monsters must be destroyed. Greece, kill the monsters.
Wow.
And Egypt, monsters invade the world.
Okay, but we are settled. We are absolutely
man.
settled on total advancement.
Total advancement.
Or the Grand Blitz operation.
Godzilla, the Grand Blitz operation was the official Japanese re-release title.
It's amazing.
Wow, that is so funny. Never have I ever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There was 11 or 12 monsters that made an appearance in this film, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
The Warriors.
I was trying to read. This was the last Godzilla movie that was made with all 4 Godzilla fathers, quote unquote. They are Tanaka, the producer, Honda, the director, Ifukube for music, and Tsuburaya, which is special effects, although he only worked as an advisor. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Magicians, the lot of them.
Yeah, for real, especially back then. As an apparent inside gag, the television broadcast showing the humans under the Keylok control warns the viewers to be on the lookout for Andrew Hughes, an American, end quote. Andrew
Hughes. A couple
Hughes.
Of them in there.
Andrew Hughes is the name of one of the actors. He's the older gentleman playing Dr. Stevenson.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Originally, there were plans to have 2 other monsters in the movie, as well as the 11 that were used. Those monsters were to have been Ibira.
Oh, yeah.
From Gojira,
the big-ass
Ibira.
lobster.
Oh, wow. And Mosura, the giant walrus.
I ain't never heard of him.
And the giant walrus Maguma from Yusei Gurasu. I don't know what that is. Wow. Interesting.
Odd. Perplexing.
This is one of the only 2 films in which Mothra does not appear with the Shobijin, the tiny twin priestesses. The other film is Gojira Mosura.
Godzilla vs. Mothra.
Oh. Albeit a pair of twin girls were seen looking up at Mothra during her appearance in the Yokohama.
A little nod.
Just clear nod. I see. Interesting. That's really cool. Well, man, oh man, what a fun time this was.
Too long.
It has been too long, dude.
The G-Unit beckons.
Dude. For a movie, let's see. 90. Oh. So 2018 was 50 years since this film came out. 19, 20, 20. So that's 54 years, dude.
God damn.
Man, that is nuts. I can't even fathom that it was made that long ago. That is insane. But what a fun time. All these films are so wacky and wonderful.
Oh, yeah. And
I always have so much fun with them.
Perfect in their own right.
Yes.
I will tolerate no naysay.
We really got to figure out a time to put final words in the books.
Yes.
Especially with Ethan. And a little side note while we're here at the end of the show. Ethan is feeling a lot better. He looks a lot better. And he is now going back to work on the ambulance. So that's why he's not here today, because tonight...
No longer on hiatus.
Tonight, was his first shift, so...
Text him right now.
Right. Yeah, right. He's working night shift right now. Don't worry, we're still recording at our regularly scheduled hours, so...
Right.
He's definitely up.
What hour that is, you'll never know.
But anyways, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that we get to have moments like this where we get to watch wacky Godzilla films and have a fun time. If you're looking for ways to contact us, you can look at our links in the show notes, and you can contact us at all the links down there, or you can just type in The Aftermath on all the major podcasting platforms or social media stuff, and you should be able to find us.
If you want.
If you want. And until next time, thank you so much for listening.
See you.
Bye.